HTC. Welcome to our daily Devos. My name's Kurt Thielen, and today we're going to be looking at Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. In this passage, it says this, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. At the very center of this verse is a real simple reality that God started a good work in those that follow him. And he started a good work in our church. And from the very beginning of time, God has worked good for you and me. It started in the garden where he created things and basically said, this is good. He put it into the life of Jesus Christ, who provided good salvation for those who put our trust and faith in him. And in this verse, there's a promise that that goodness will carry over into our daily lives. In my home, if you come to our house, you'll oftentimes see a puzzle on one of our tables. And if you've ever put together a puzzle, you know you start kind of with those outside edges and it creates the frame. And then as you kind of start working through it, depending how big it is, sometimes that puzzle can get a little overwhelming because there's so many missing pieces in the middle. But eventually, if you focus and you know you could finish that and put that full pieces of the puzzle together. And I think that's a little bit of what our lives are like with God. In our lives, we have a frame that God creates in us. It's this new relationship that starts at salvation. It's like the edges of a puzzle. And yet as we go through life, we can get frustrated because we know we're not exactly what God intended. And so we're watching him put the pieces in place of our puzzle, but it doesn't always match what we desire or maybe as fast as we do want it. And so this passage is so great because right in this text, there are 3 C words that I think bring me confidence and hope, and I hope it does the same for you. The first there is that this work that he started, it says he will carry it on. When we talk about that, is God is committed to be the person who accomplishes, who carries out this task. He is working in your life and in mine as followers of Jesus to accomplish this work that we'll never be able to do on our own. He'll work with us and he works in us to create us to really follow after and love his own desires. The second C word there is the fact that he's going to bring it to completion. That what he started at salvation, he's going to finish it. He's the one who actually is going to bring it into reality, bringing you to be holy like Christ and to reflect him well. God's committed to finishing your puzzle. And then the last one there is that we can be confident. So he's going to carry the work, he's going to do it. He's actually going to complete what he starts, and then we can be confident. We can have certainty that God isn't done with us yet. He isn't done with us, he isn't done with our church, and he isn't done with you as a believer. God is still putting pieces into your puzzle at the right time and the right place to bring about what he desires. And I get to this passage, it just reminds me of how much we're not perfect yet. You know that, I know that. But at times you and I probably both get frustrated with our journey to think, man, I wish I was farther ahead, and is it really going to work out? And this passage just is a reminder that on our own strength and our own abilities, it really won't work out. But when we lean into God, he is the one who's putting the pieces of our life together. We are unfinished people, but we serve a God who finishes what he starts. And our confidence isn't in ourselves, but it's in his power and his wisdom and his resolve to bring to completion the very things that he promised he would do, that someday we would be like Jesus Christ and stand in his presence full and complete. Have a great week following Jesus.